Christmas growing up wasn't about the presents, it was about the build up. It was going into town and visiting Father Christmas in the department store. It was getting the house ready, changing the curtains and the bedding and moving all the furniture around so that everything fit, and that's including the tree. We had a Christmas cupboard. Christmas was a whole week back then. I remember watching Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies with my brother, and then my sister coming to stay for the Christmas season and playing with my nephews. And finally, when Christmas Day actually came, it was midnight mass and the biggest turkey and games and family and just all being together. That's the Christmas I want. My Christmas starts in the living room, changing the curtains. These red velvet curtains are just gorgeous. I actually picked these up a couple of years ago, $4 for each panel. I ended up with 4 panels, so I have 2 in the living room, 2 in the dining room. So I've taken down my gorgeous yellow chinoiserie curtains, put them away till next year, and I've also taken the valance down, and I've just got a piece of just similar colour red material that I've just cut into a strip and pinned into place on the old valance. In the meantime, I decided I didn't like the white woodwork that I'd left around the archway in the living room, so I gave it a quick sample with the blue from the walls, and of course absolutely loved it. So now I've got to paint all the woodwork in the living room in this blue. So I've done the archway and 2 of the skirting boards, and here's the curtains and the valance. I also did a little bit of decorating above the TV and the fireplace. I just had 2 garlands and I threaded them with these lovely red beads, and then I think I put a bow and a bit of greenery in the centre as well. Of course, these curtains have been in a suitcase for a year, so I'm not going to iron them, so please don't say anything. I hate to iron velvet, and these are a really good quality velvet. So all I'm doing is I'm leaving them. The heat from the room and the windows will have the creases fall out within a couple of weeks. I wanted to show you this chair. I picked this up a few weeks ago. It is a Lazy Boy recliner. It's an older model. It's so cool. I picked it up thinking we could use it over Christmas. I've moved my furniture around, and I know we'll need extra seating, so I've recovered that, but I'll show you that in a minute. This is the valance, obviously, that I took down, and literally all I've done is I have put it on the table. I've taken this lovely silky fabric, and this was just a panel that I picked up. I think it was probably a tablecloth, and I've cut 2 pieces. It was long enough to fit the extra long piece for the window in the living room, and then the valance in the dining room is shorter, so I had more than enough material. And there you can see it in the dining room, and this is the painted woodwork. Just love how that's turned out. This is the Lazy Boy chair. This came in 2 pieces. The back comes off. It is an older piece. It is really well made. It's solid wood, and the only reason I brought it home was because it came in 2 parts, so I could actually manage it myself. I was looking around the room. The one chair's going. I'm moving all my furniture around. The place is a mess because I'm starting to work on stuff. So this is the material I gathered together. So I've got the blue walls, the green walls in the dining room, and I really like the flannel fabric, but it wasn't really upholstery grade. Then I had lots of green velvets, which are just slightly different shades from each other. I had this paisley velvet panel, and I was kind of looking at the best way to refinish the chair and also, you know, make it fit in with everything I've got. So in the end, I decided to go with the green. I also had this lovely blue upholstery fabric, which was gorgeous, but it was just the wrong shade of blue, and it was so similar to the original colour of the chair that I decided that was too pale for the look that I was going for. I really wanted to use this flannel. If it had been a little bit better quality, I would have done. It had the green, it has the blue, and it has the red in it, and it's perfect. I probably wouldn't have had enough. That's why I thought maybe putting the green velvet on the arm pieces. But I really did like the look of this. It's like all the colours of the room in it. It's just lovely. However, it wasn't. It's more like a shirting fabric. So that's why I decided to go with the green velvet. I did try a couple of different combinations. I tried the paisley with the green velvet as well, but sort of looking around the room, it's just, again, I wanted to keep it mainly one colour, just so that it's not going to sort of stand out on its own. It's going to blend in a little more because I've got the leather couch, I've got the other high back two-seater chair that's got the upholstery, more like a suiting fabric, and that's kind of a mix of colours as well. So I thought, keep it all one colour. That's why I went with the green velvet. So this is the green velvet that I decided to go with. I had one panel, it was a long panel, and it was almost enough to do the whole thing. But what I decided to do, I really liked the green in the bottom of the two-seater armchair, but I didn't have enough of that left. I wanted to do the arms maybe of it in that colour and maybe mix up the greens. But anyway, as it turned out, I did most of the chair in this velvet, and then the back and the sides I did in another velvet, which is a slightly different shade, but you'd never know the difference. So this is the back of the chair. This is what I did in the one material, and then so it's three different pieces of green velvet on this, and as you can see, those two are the same piece, but the shade and the nap of the velvet, you wouldn't know. But I digress. So this is the back, obviously, this slots in. So I've done this kind of makeshift. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it the green. I might recover it after Christmas. I just wanted it done. It was a kind of a last minute purchase. I needed an extra chair, and this was perfect. It was a really good make. It was a recliner, and it was ideal for what I needed. So this particular Christmas pillow is a piece of art that has been hanging in my hallway upstairs for 3 years. Every time I walk past it and I go to the laundry room, I think, what a waste it being up here. And decided I'm going to see if I can salvage it and turn it into a winter pillow. I've got this piece of beautiful velvet that picks up on the blue in the leaves. So I'm going to take it out of its frame and see if I can make myself a lovely Christmas winter pillow for the living room. So as carefully as possible, I'm going to take the back off and see if I can actually make this work. Well, whoever did this did a really good job of putting it together without doing too much damage. I don't know how long it's been in a picture frame, but I'll tell you what, somebody spent a lot of time on this, and it is a lovely, lovely piece. So I do manage to get all of the pins out, and then I've cut a piece of the velvet to fit on the back, got my sewing machine out, and I've sewn up 3 sides and left a gap at the bottom, which I am going to fill. So this is done, it's sewn. I've left a gap at the bottom to fill I'm going to see, I'm hoping I've got a form in my stash that is like a feather. I like the feather feel as opposed to the artificial, but I'll use what I got. In the meantime, I got this idea from another pillow that I thrifted a while ago. It's a velvet pillow, a little one, with the tapestry on the front, and I don't know how old this thing is, but it is gorgeous. The problem is the stuffing is, I don't know what the stuffing is. I've repaired this a couple of times. It's a really old piece. I just love this. But I opened it up and the stuffing is like, it's almost like wool in little pieces. So I'm going to restuff this one as well. So I'm going to go, while I'm doing the job, I'll do them both together. But look how gorgeous those are together, and I love them both so much. I found a bag of fill and actually a pillow form. They're not natural, but you know what? I'm using what I've got. I'm just going to stuff the pillow form in the purple and blue pillow, and then this is the little one you can see. Look, I don't know what that is. It's so soft, it's so funny, but I'm just going to break up the fill that I've got and restuff that, leaving what's in there and then just restuffing it and sewing it up. And then I've put the pillow in here, sewed it up, and I'll show you what everything looks like. Well, here's the chair with all its warts. I did run out of trim. I didn't have any trim to finish it off, so I made my own trim. Of course, I made a mess of the glue again. I always do. I had to go out and buy myself a new glue gun because the one I've got was so crap. Anyway, I just cut lengths of the fabric and a contrasting fabric and just glued them over the seams. And I'm really pleased with it. It's not terrible how it turned out. I did get out my Christmas pillows, and there's my 2 new pillows on the couch. I love how this has turned out. The dog had knocked it on the floor because he was trying to get on the couch, so I didn't realise there was quite so many bits on it. And I vacuum every day because when the baby comes out, he's all over the place. So I love how this has turned out. I love the blue on the back. This is the finished woodwork. Again, I think that's made a massive difference to the room. I've started painting all my woodwork the same colours as I've done on the walls. I used to do this years ago. I know it's becoming popular again now, but I love how it looks. It's a very classic look. And then here's the rest of the room with the curtains and the valance and the little bits of decoration that I've put up. We always used to decorate our ceilings at Christmas, and I wanted to do something similar. I love the way the hallways turned out, so I'd grabbed some greenery and I thought I would either add the velvet ribbon and the beads. In the end, I just used the greenery and the beads, and then I put it up above the TV and the fireplace, and it's really a lovely look. It's very traditional. I was also thinking of putting something on the valance above the curtains, but I thought, you know what, I can get a little bit carried away sometimes. I just don't know when to stop. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does this, but I have to step back and say, okay, enough, because I want to keep it all very low-key this year. So you can see here I've got 3 hooks already up there from previous years. So I've put one piece of greenery, then the bead, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I think I add a bit of ribbon and another little bit of greenery into the centre. And it does look really nice. Not too much. It's not overkill. And then on a couple of other pieces, again, this is stuff I've done in the past. A little bit of velvet ribbon in the red or the green. I have both, lots of both. And an extra little touch this year was my little Santa. I thrifted this guy, painted him out white, left his hat red, and I think he looks perfect on the shelves. So the original plan was I got one of my boxes of glass decorations out, and I was going to put them on the mantle, put some greenery and hang these off. I thought it would look really pretty. But once I'd done the bit of decor on the ceiling above the fireplace and the TV, I just loved how simple it was, and I thought, I don't want to overdo it. So I decided that I would just leave these decorations for the Christmas tree, which is going to be in itself a bit different this year because the baby's walking, and I've sort of opened up the front window. The tree's going to go there. I'm going to put one of the armchairs and then two of my big baskets in front of it, just the days he's here, so that he doesn't get into the tree. But the fireplace is what's giving me the dilemma. So as you can see here, I've kind of chucked everything at it. I've got about 6 different pieces of garland here, all different, and I can't decide what I'm going to do. These are the hooks that I picked up thrifting. I got 3 of them, and they're like cast iron, and I got them for $6. And you can see here I've got all different types of greenery. This is what I grabbed. They just sort of fit onto the mantle. They've got 2 hooks on them. I guess one's for a garland and one's for a stocking. I just don't know what to do here. I really like the idea of just greenery and holly and ivy. That's just my favourite look. But I went into, we have now winterized my little gazebo. We've covered up all the windows for the winter, and I've just brought all my Christmas decorations down, and I'm kind of sorting through everything in my lovely little sun-filled room. So I've got a big desk there, and all my decorations are out, and I can kind of go through them because I am giving some to one of my sons having my old Christmas tree, so I'm going to be going through that decor, and he's having some of them. And I do this every year. Somebody always gets some of my Christmas decorations, so this year it's my younger son. That's some of the decor for outside, which I'm going to be doing next. And I've just got everything kind of ready and waiting to either come into the house or go outside. We had a couple of good days' weather, and I decided I'll do the front porch. Funny story, these 2 little trees, one was mine, one I thought I'd given away and then bought back, but it turns out I did actually have my original one, and I had purchased one for $1 in Christmas in July. So I've put it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the front porch, the fence, and also one of the pots. And this is kind of a combination of all my greenery for outdoors, and I usually just kind of wind them all together and then add some real greenery too as well, along with some ribbon. So as you can see, I've used 3 different garlands, one around the front door. That's the wreath that I made Christmas in July, so I'm leaving that up because I like the bell. I've added another garland above the door that goes to the centre, so you can see there, and then the last one goes on the outside of the porchway. I've also going to add, I've got a big container that I'm going to put some greenery in there. I just haven't got them yet, and I'm just going to wrap them all with lights. I did have 3 different sets of colours of lights, not colours, I had 3 sizes of, I had a big bulb, a medium bulb and a little bulb, and I was just going to mix them all up, but turns out the big bulbs weren't working, and I don't know why, but I'm not buying any more, so I'm just going to use what I've got. They're slightly different colours as well, but at night it doesn't matter, they all just look so pretty when they're lit up. These 2 little trees I was going to put in pots, but I think I'm going to put them on the steps, and I've got some little baskets. I'm just going to fill them with stones, and then I might put some just little coloured battery operated lights on these, just so that as you walk up the walkway it's another sort of little element before you get to the house. I've recently thrifted some lovely wired red ribbon. It's a really good quality and it'd be perfect for outside, so I think I'm just going to wrap everything in the red ribbon, and the same with around the mains of the lions. I usually pick up a real Christmas tree and use the greenery around the house and then put it in all my artificial greenery. My friend Melissa gave me 2 big bunches, so I've put those up around the outside here and started a pot, but I will fill the rest of the house with the greenery that I pick up. And here it is with the red ribbon. I think it's just popped. I wasn't sure at first, but then I had a couple of comments from the kids and a couple of neighbours said how nice it looks, so I'm going to leave the red ribbon in. And I love how, of course, my lions with their wreaths around their neck and then their red ribbons, they've turned out really nicely as well. So all I'm waiting on now is I've got to put some little baskets around my little trees, put some batteries in the little light packs, and then just fill out my pot with some more greenery. I'm going to do a couple of little things down there at the front of the driveway. I've also put some on the fence. I'm not going to light the fence and the gate, but I have put some garland on the fence and a nice big wreath on the gate. And then everything's lit up at night, and you can see those are 3 different coloured light sets that I've got up there, but you can't tell the difference, so I just think it looks really lovely. And of course my little lantern light bulbs, I love those as well. They do work. When I put them up for October, I couldn't tell if they were like flickering, but they do. They flicker lovely. They look so nice. I hope you enjoyed the video. I guess this would have been part 2 because I did my hallway last week. I just want you to remember that the best parts of Christmas are always the simplest things, and the time with the family, with the old traditions, and a home that's filled with love and laughter. I hope this inspires you to slow down and enjoy the season and hold on to what truly matters. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you all next week. If you are watching me from the US, I hope you have the most amazing, happy, healthful and joyful Thanksgiving, and I will see you all here next week for more traditional old home Christmas decorating. I'll see you next time.